think a real blessing to us on the issue of land reform. But let's turn to Vish Governor, co-founder of Everything.Insure. Welcome, Vish. It's great to have you.
Good morning, Clarence. Be here. Thank you.
We're just seeing in the wake of storm damage, everybody's invoking the protection of force majeure from big industry to state-owned enterprises. Force majeure, acts of God are becoming a little more commonplace these days, are they not?
Acts of God are becoming a lot more commonplace. So let's do this. Serious and severe events are becoming a lot more commonplace. What used to be a 1 in 10 year, we're now getting, 2 a year or 3 or 4 in 10 years. They are becoming a lot more common.
And I would imagine that the big font is being replaced with smaller font when it comes to force majeure.
You're speaking specifically about insurance. Your question is...
Absolutely, yes.
I'll respond specifically about insurance. I mean, it is unlikely that, weather-related events an insurer is going to reject a claim on the basis of the force majeure clause. It's highly unlikely. And certainly any storm that we've experienced in the recent past and the ones that you've fortunately gone through in the Western, in the Cape in general and the rest of the country, I don't think your listeners need to be concerned about force majeure clause being applied to their contract.
Okay, well, that's good news, but I'm sure the actuaries are crunching the numbers at this moment in time and maybe having another look at acts of God.
Well, from a pricing point of view, and from a wording and a contractual point of view, the policy, the actual contract between the insurer and the client, and all policy wordings are,
Viz, have we lost you? Should we reconnect with Viz? Another suspect line coming between me and my line of questioning, and it is a line of questioning. I was going to go there now in a short while, and it's actually a simple next follow-up question as we try and reconnect with Viz. What should we be circumspect about? What should be in our policies? Is it there? Just given the fact the storm damage has ravaged South Africa, and especially the folks in KwaZulu-Natal would know that better, I think, than us. But it can come here at any time. And we know it's going to come here to the Western Cape a lot more often than it did in the past. Viz, Governor, are you back? Hello, Viz? Nope, he's not back yet. Okay, so we'll try for the last time to connect with Viz. But this weekend, storm in the Western Cape has seen solar panels, of course, flying off the roofs, fires raging, trees blocking roads. There's been extensive power outages as well. And you know what power outages equate to: loss of food in the fridge, etc., etc., etc. In some areas, and productivity, there we go, loss of income. In some areas, schools and businesses have also been closed. Somerset Mall, which is currently not open to the public, has also seen partial loss of a roof. And I have no doubt that the claims have kind of piled up to insurers, and I think we need to anticipate a response given the fact that more storm damage can be expected in the future. Viz, Governor, are you back?
Yes, I'm back.
Okay. And we're now fast running out of time, but I think what is important for us to assess at this moment in time, we need to obviously be sure that we are protected, and we should be mindful of more of the storm damage coming our way in the future. What should we be looking for and making sure is in our policies?
Yeah, well, you're right. I think we have to be mindful. I think it's going to be expected, and it's almost human and corporate nature that, when it starts to get to this point where there are a lot more claims than you expect, that you're going to get some insurers applying the contracts more strictly. So something you might have gotten away with in the past, you might not be getting away with in the future. That's the first thing. The second thing, the pricing is going to go up, and it's probably going to go up quite significantly related to your buildings insurance, your motor insurance, and so on, because of this higher frequency. So you need to be looking to say, is there anything I can do myself? Because sometimes there's additions to the thing that you're worried about insurance. That's to look at take higher excesses on their policies, and the cost might come down. I'm able to pay 10,000 rand if I have an incident, then rather increase the excess of my policy to 10,000, I might get a significant drop in my premium. And then the third thing is the fine print, as you call it. It's not really fine print. By law, insurers have got to put them in the same print, same font as everything else, at what's called the exclusions and the obligations that you have as a policy holder. Simple things like maintenance of your roof. So if you don't undertake the correct maintenance that's required, you may have a claim rejected. So please make sure things like your gutters are cleaned and your roof is maintained as it should be. And then lots of policies, things that are included in other policies, either at the same cost or for slightly more. You know, many policies don't include retaining walls. Policies don't include, gate motors or pool pumps and that sort of stuff. Many policies do, and you need to make sure whether your policy has that or not. Things like subsidence and landslip. Some insurers exclude it. Some insurers charge an extra fee for it, and you've got to ask for it, and other insurers just give it to you. So those are the kind of things you really need to be careful of making sure you do. And then maybe finally, there's a requirement if you're living in a wildlife area or a wilderness estate or in an area where there's bush. Policy often requires a certain bush clearance, about 6 meters, 15 meters, 100 meters, and you've got to make sure that you maintain that to manage your spread of fire, either from you to a neighbor or neighbor to you. Those are things that come to mind, Clarence.
Yeah, just a quick little question in, and then we're going to have to wrap up. It comes from Peter. It's a long one. I'll try and read it quickly. Regarding insurance and an act of God, my understanding is that for insurance purposes, an act of God is an unforeseen event for which you cannot limit your potential loss through mitigating measures. A carport collapsed on one of our vehicles for the third time in 3 months. In a stretch of about 50 meters, only the one section covering collapsed every time. In May last year, in Jan this year, and again on Saturday. Surely if the same event occurs again and again, and it can be prevented, it does not qualify as an act of God. I think that's the question. Are insurance companies not abusing the act of God clause? Peter asking the question.
I've not come across insurance companies, resorting to the act of God to reject claims that are storm related and so on. And certainly a glass and carport, I wouldn't pass it. It was caused by weather. Something continually happens, the insurer expects you to do something about it. They won't just continue paying, but the insurer needs to pay attention and ask you to do something about it. If it's defective design, you haven't got a proper engineer who's done the job for you, you could get your claim rejected on that basis. But if it wasn't rejected, the insurer paid the first and the second claim, and they paid the third claim, you're lucky. And they would have, and you've done something and placed some obligation on you to build it better or do something different. Yeah.
Viz, we appreciate your time. Viz Govender is, of course, the founder of Everything.Insure. Next up, we chat with Vanessa Asensio. We're going to talk about South Africans experiencing stress levels that make it difficult to cope. It's a survey.